Yeah. Let's move to Saturday. We have two games because of the cancellation. We have two games at 3:30 somehow. They're not spread out, which is awful. And one at night. We'll get the Coastal Liberty shortly. Let's start the First Responders Bowl in Dallas, 3:30 Eastern on ABC between Louisiana, the co-champions in the Sun Belt, along with Coastal Carolina. They are a 13.5-point favorite over UTSA. Meet over under 57.5 at BetMGM, the official odds provider of the Action Network podcast. I know that I'm really confident that the Roadrunners will care here. They're 7-4 under Jeff Traylor in his first season, and they're seeking their first bowl victory in program history in only their second appearance. And it would tie, a win would tie the school record for wins in a season. So UTSA is going to be motivated. Louisiana, and they didn't get to play the conference title game. They're playing the First Responders Bowl. Will they care here? You could argue, and I think that I would side with this, that they want to make a statement here. They feel like they got jobbed and the Sun Belt in general in the college football playoff ratings, but to question motivation here as a near 2-touchdown favorite is fair. Louisiana's defense, they have some good players up front, Taylor Humphrey and Zion Hill, but it's really the secondary is where they have the star power. I mean, Braylon Trahan at safety is an absolute stud. I think he was PFF All-American. Two other very good safeties, too, with him in Solomon and Butler. They have two good corners also in Garner and Gore. I mean, the pass D is very good. Third in pass efficiency defense, just outstanding from a coverage perspective. Now, the run defense is a little questionable, and they're 111th in line yards. So can Sincere McCormick, one of the best running backs in college football, take advantage? That's going to be the main question here. UTSA does have some players up front. Their defensive line has been surprisingly good. Matterson, Haynes, Clayton, Dantzler, and Wiley off the edge. They're 24th in line yards, 27th in stuff rate. So they've been pretty good up front, taking on Louisiana's offense with Levi Lewis, a pair of really good backs, Mitchell and Regis, and then, rock solid offensive line. Just a great offensive line. Osiris Torrance and Max Mitchell lead that group. So the question here is motivation perspective. Does Louisiana care enough? I know UTSA will. And then how much can the UTSA rushing attack exploit Louisiana's primary weakness? Because this is what, it's kind of strength on weakness. UTSA just wants to feed the ball to McCormick, and that's how you can move the ball in Louisiana. What do you see here between Meat and the Ragin' Cajuns?
Well, you can't get me too excited for a Marshall-Buffalo game, but this game has got me super excited. I love watching Meat in a bowl. They should be, like Stuck said, heavily motivated. We don't know where Louisiana is going to come in, but know this. These two teams rush the ball 57% clip. They are a rush-first offenses, and if you're looking for explosive running, look no further than UTSA. It's just, Sincere McCormick has just posted unbelievable numbers the entire season, but also quarterback Frank Harris. I believe those two combined for 370 rushing yards and 3 rushing TDs against North Texas to end the season. I know it's North Texas defense, but this is just UTSA football. It's pretty fantastic from a ground standpoint. Louisiana been a little bit lucky maybe this season. We'll get into second-order win totals after the season's over, and I've got one hell of a project to figure out if we're throwing out all the stats from this year and start from scratch with power ratings for next year. But Louisiana went 5-1 in one-possession games this year. That one loss coming to Coastal Carolina, the 3-point loss that they took earlier. UTSA 7-4. They won their final 3 games. 7 of their games came down to one possession. So when you see a 2-score spread, these are two teams that love to keep it within one possession all season long. Advantages for UTSA are definitely in the trench. Stuck mentioned that. Louisiana's outside the top 110 and plenty of rushing defensive stats. We're talking line yards 111, stuff rate 116th, power success 124th. If you're not familiar with those terms, UTSA is going to be able to run the ball anytime they want on any down and distance. It doesn't matter what it is. Louisiana defense is 87th in sack rate. They're not getting any pressure whatsoever on opposing quarterbacks. And UTSA, the offense, top 30 in finishing drives. Once they get past the 40-yard line, they're putting points up on the board. So I like UTSA to certainly hang around here. If
I
you
was
look at
hoping you were going to convince me on Meet Me, so
yeah, well, I think the
we
whole
can tweet
thing
some
is
Roadrunner gifts on Saturday.
the whole thing is my own projections are what's making me take a hammer to all this, because I got it at Louisiana minus 15, and that could just be a half point grading here and there and an advanced box score that has it off. So I'm a point above the market right now as we record this. And I would really like to get over 14 here to lay some money. But if you look at the other side of the ball with Louisiana's offense, they'll face a rush defense that really hasn't been too successful either, except for the fact that they're top 25 in line yards or 24th in line yards. UTSA is on defense, but they're 61st in success rate. So what that means is they're able to stop the run, but they're giving up a lot of first downs. And I think that's going to be the case here with Louisiana. I think they're going to have plenty of success running the ball. They do play better defense than Louisiana up against the red zone. They do play better defense when they're up against the 40-yard line. The big difference in this matchup also, which is also going to have me on UTSA, they're third in the country in special teams, and Louisiana is 77th. Big mismatch on special teams when it comes to these two teams. I make the game exactly where the market is. I make it 15 with a total of 55. I want UTSA pretty bad. I imagine in some form or fashion, I'm going to be on the Roadrunners here. It's just a matter of when do I make the investment in the market.
Yeah, do you have any thoughts on potential motivation for Louisiana?
Where is Louisiana's head? We're co-champions. Our coach is leaving us. He's not leaving us. This is our final game. We could have been playing against a Power 5 opponent. We could have, made a New Year's Six. We could have got our revenge against Coastal. You didn't get any of that stuff, and now you've got a trip to what? The Dallas-Fort Worth area to play in. His first responder, I believe, played in the old Cotton Bowl. No, it's where SMU plays. Interesting. It used to be at the Cotton Bowl. So do you have motivation if you're Louisiana to, take a trip down I-30 and get to SMU's campus and play at Gerald Ford's stadium? That doesn't scream confidence or excitement or something I would want to be doing the day after Christmas, especially playing a team, in UTSA. So I'll be looking for Louisiana motivation here. I can't imagine putting money behind Billy Napier for a long time after the decisions I've seen him make the past 2 years. So, meep all the way here, and I'm looking forward to getting into the market at some point on them.
Yep, I agree with you. And in these bowl games where I know once the underdog's going to be motivated, and I don't know if the favorite necessarily is, and there's a big matchup advantage that the underdog has, I have no problems taking 2 touchdowns. I think historically taking double-digit dogs in these bowl games has been profitable. If you go back 25, 30 years, nothing crazy, but yeah, that's I look forward to getting in on UTSA as well. I make the number slightly under 3 touchdowns. Let me say it again. I make the number slightly under 2 touchdowns. So,
right,
with the motivation, the matchup, I think it's a good spot to get us on meet. And
I think one thing going for you and I.
Hold on one second. A potential spot that you guys call in to the voicemails, angry or not. Yeah.
I think one thing going for us, though, is that we know that there's going to be a public appetite for Louisiana here. I can't imagine there being any kind of appetite from anybody that doesn't follow Meet Me. So I think there's going to be a heavy amount of money that could push us into buy territory on UTSA.